Hey guys, Youthful Yields here. I just wanted to say thank you for watching my videos. This is a brand new channel. It's only like 3 days old or something like that. And yeah, I think we have pretty decent number of views so far, and we have four new subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing. And something I've noticed here, thank goodness for this analytics dashboard, is you guys don't seem to be watching the entire video, which I understand. I probably wouldn't do it myself. So I'll do my best to try to ramble less. And yeah, but I wanted to address 2 comments that I got on my insane growth video. I think I can do here. So there's these 2 comments. So yes, I will agree it did not age well, and yeah, I could have been the next Warren Buffett if I had just waited the next 1 or 2 days. But you can't time the market. You never know when it's going to be completely down or just about to rise or whatever. So while it's true, I'm down a little bit. I'm not down by a lot, which is what counts. And what's even more important is it was not just that stock or those 2 stocks. I think I mentioned USD and SMH in that video. The entirety of the market took a hit. And that's not just US markets. The Japanese market also, the Japanese exchange also took a very massive hit. This is the worst hit, I think, since 1987, guys. So, yeah, it's just what it is. It is what it is. So, I just want to address that. We can take a look at my portfolio real quick, actually. We're down on USD about 8%. But I'm okay with that. Remember that this is a leveraged fund. So, while that number seems high, that's because it's basically twice as much as it usually is. So, I'm okay with that. Now, moving past that, I'd like to go into kind of the YieldMax distributions. This is what the video is about, right? So let's get into that. So I pulled the data for the last 2 months, and I just wanted to go through that. So firstly, I just wanted to highlight real quick as a note, I couldn't find on YieldMax's, where they provide these charts. I could not provide, or they didn't have the data available for Snowy, for the yield. So I calculated this myself using the close price. Now, for whatever reason, if that's not accurate, apologies, but yeah. And then I'm going to hide these rows right here just because we don't have enough data for them currently. So yeah. But let's get into the meat and potatoes, guys. So if we sort by the yield difference, at the bottom we can see Nvidia kind of got killed the most, and that kind of makes sense, right? Yeah, Nvidia shot down. It got shot down like a bird in the sky. Same with a lot of these companies, to be honest. And one of my more safe investments, under my opinion, is AMZ, right? And that went down. The yield went down 9%, almost 10%, which is a lot. But why did this one go down in particular? Why did Coney go down in particular? Well, those 2 had some terrible earnings reports, right? I mean, they weren't terrible, but they weren't good. Especially Coney. Coney was mixed, and that right now is actually insanely low. If we go to the Coney price real quick, we can see right here, it's at $16. That's crazy. At one point today, it was at $15, and actually I think yesterday it was at $13 at one point. So yeah, crazy. But let's look at the positives real quick, right? So Nefli up 17% since last month. So that's pretty significant. And this is one of the investments I was actually considering taking because, last month it did not seem that appealing to me. 25%. I try to aim for about 40%, because that's a pretty good number for me. It's not too high to where it's too volatile. but it's also not too low to where it's not even worth putting my money into. Like something like, you know, Zomo or, you know, Microsoft. So those are a bit too low for me. I try to aim for about 40. Luckily, we can see here that most of these numbers are actually above 40. So that's great. Actually, maybe not most of them, but a lot of them are, right? So Netflix huge. Tesla also went up, which is a good thing to see for most people. It's up now at 83%. We have Murny, which this one's actually kind of surprising for me because Murny got killed this last week, right? We can see they are their price is at $11 right now. You know, at the beginning it was at $15. You know, at the end of July. So seeing it at $11 and that high of a yield is actually kind of surprising. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So now let me address kind of maybe where I'm gonna be putting my money in. Because remember, guys, while these are all these numbers are low right now, so yes, obviously buy the dip. That's great. What is more important is the ex-dividend date that's coming up, right? So that's tomorrow, August 7th. That is when these all are guaranteed to drop. Why? Because, you know, they pay out the distribution, so it drops by the distribution amount. So, for example, we have the distribution amount here. Nvidia's going to drop by $1.25, roughly, right? So now would be, or tomorrow would be the best time to buy, right? So what am I going to be buying on the dip of, you know, August and the ex-dividend date? To be honest, part of me wants to get into Nvidia, but I think because I own USD, I'm kind of very heavy in the semiconductor space. I think because the share price of Coney right now is so low, I think I'm going to get into this one for sure. I think I'm going to get into AMZ a little bit more because what's important about AMZ is, yes, the earnings report was mixed, but realistically, they are not. I think they're going to recover, right? So if we look in the last month, you know, they had a humongo dip here. But I think they're going to recover, so I think I'll put some money into there. I honestly think now's the chance to go into Netflix, right? I was mentioning that earlier. And I think there was more on here. Oh, well, for sure Misty, right? Misty, it went down, but guys, it's still paying out $1.94. It has a 95% yield right now, which is the highest of any of these. The next highest, I think, is Coney at 75%. We could actually just do a thing here so we can see Tesla. It's also up there. I'm not putting my money into Tesla, guys. I just don't trust it. It's too volatile for me, and that's saying a lot for being a person in yield fund. But Phoebe also, look at that. Phoebe's at 52%, which is also interesting. So I think that would be something I would like to get into as well, right? So these are probably my top 5 that I'd probably get into. Now, obviously, you could do the yield chasing strat, and a lot of people do that. I try to do a little bit of yield chasing as well as some safe areas. So you can see my portfolio is kind of evidence of that. With the AMZ shares, that's a pretty large percent of my portfolio. So, yeah. I think these are the ones I want to get into. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But, hey, if you ask me, well, tomorrow is guaranteed to go down. I would always buy on the ex-dividend dates if you're in YieldMax. Regardless of what happens in the market, you're guaranteed to get a discount. So, with that being said, that's it for me, guys. And yeah, I wish you guys a wealthy future.